Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Monday, March 30th, 2015, around 7:15 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. Cloudy out today. We might get some rain and snow showers. Some news to report. The LA Clippers beat the Boston Celtics by the score of 119-106. Celtics are out of the playoff picture for right now in the number 9 position of the NBA Eastern Conference, and also WrestleMania 31 happened last night. The big news that Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank and became WWE Champion by beating Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. They made a triple threat match. Also, Triple H beat Sting with the interference from the NWO and the DX. John Cena's the new Intercontinental Champion. The Undertaker is now 22-1 at WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan's the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. Prayers to TNT NBA sideline reporter Craig Sager, who has redeveloped leukemia and needs a bone marrow transplant. So prayers to his family. And that's about it on that. My next subject is the WrestleMania 18 review from the Sky Dome in Toronto, Canada, the granddaddy of all pay-per-views, WrestleMania 18. This WrestleMania had Triple H face off against Chris Jericho with Stephanie McMahon for the WWE World Championship. Plus, it had The Rock against the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Icon versus Icon, and The Undertaker against Nature Boy Ric Flair as the main matches. And calling the pay-per-view action was good old JR, Jim Ross, and Jerry the King Lawler. And it was a match for the WrestleMania 18 pay-per-view that happened on Sunday Night Heat on the National Network, which is now Spike TV. It was Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Albert facing off against Mr. Perfect, Lance Storm, and Test. And this match was, a typical 6-man tag. Rikishi won by giving the Bonsai drop to Mr. Perfect. Very surprisingly that they didn't put Perfect, Lance Storm, and Test over, because Storm and Test are Canadian and Test is from Ontario, Canada. And this is what happened. These matches happened on the WWE WrestleMania 18 pay-per-view event. The first match was for the Intercontinental Championship. The reigning champion was Lord William Regal. He faced off against the whole effing show, Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. This was a good match. Rob Van Dam kicked out the punch that Steven Regal would use for brass knuckles behind the referee's back, but RVD kicked out, and then he gave the 5-star Frog Splash to William Regal for the 1, 2, 3. RVD wins his first Intercontinental title. The next match was for the European Championship. It was Christian, the challenger, and a native Torontonian facing off against the European champion at the time, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. And this was a good match. Back and forth. Christian was had DDP where he wanted, gave him a neck breaker, but the referee counted 1, 2, but DDP kicks out. Christian got moody and threw a temper tantrum. Around this time, he was known to throw temper tantrums. That was an opening for DDP to give the Diamond Cutter 1, 2, 3, and DDP retains the European Championship. Bang! The next match was for the Hardcore Championship under 24/7 rules. It was Goldust facing off against Maven, the current Hardcore Champion at the time, and the winner of the first Tough Enough contest for the WWE. This was they brawled outside the floor for about a few minutes, and then Spike Dudley comes in and takes advantage, pins Maven for the 1, 2, 3. Then he's chased by several wrestlers: Al Snow, Crash Holly, Goldust, Maven. During the segments, the in-between segments of the matches, they had a lot of these title changes. Spike Dudley lose to the Hurricane, pinning him 1, 2, 3. Later on, the Hurricane sidekick Mighty Molly beats up on the Hurricane and takes advantage. 1, 2, 3. And another segment, Mighty Molly was going through a door, but she gets hit. And the person who hits her through the door was Christian. Referee counts 1, 2, 3. Christian is new champion. And while Christian's trying to leave, taking a taxi, Maven gets out of the taxi and pins Christian for the 1, 2, 3. Christian takes a temper tantrum, and then he's mad, and Maven becomes a hardcore champion again. Yeah, that's the hardcore title. 24/7 was running its course at this time. It was better in 2000. That's a future video blog, in my opinion. Next match was your Olympic hero Kurt Angle facing off against Kane, the Big Red Machine. This was a back and forth match. Kane tried to do the tombstone on Angle, but he grabbed the mask. Angle had the ankle lock submission on Kane, but he grabbed the ropes. Ending of the match had Kane try to choke slam on Angle, but Angle schoolboys him using leverage for the tights. 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle wins this one. The next one, it was The Undertaker, Dead Man Inc., facing off against the 16-time world champion Nature Boy Ric Flair, who at this time was kind of the co-owner of the WWE in the storylines. This was no disqualification match. This was awesome. Back and forth. Flair bled in this one. Interference by Arn Anderson and stuff. It was great. Undertaker beats Flair with the last ride for the 1, 2, 3. Undertaker was 10-0 at WrestleMania. Pretty good in this match. This was a great match. Next match was Edge facing off against a five-time world WCW World Champion Booker T. This match was a little bit off. Edge won this match pretty easily, in my opinion, and nothing to write home about on this match. The next match, it was the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin facing off against Scott Hall of the NWO with Kevin Nash, his best friend forever, in his corner. This was an awful match, in my opinion. This was probably Stone Cold Steve Austin's worst pay-per-view match of all time. He beat Scott Hall with 2 stunners. Scott Hall looked very lost in this match, and Kevin Nash tried to interfere, but he was ejected by the referees. And at the end of the match, Stone Cold delivers a stunner to Nash as well. Awful match. The next match was for the WWE World Tag Team Championships in a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. It was Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo, the reigning WWE Tag Team Champions at that point, facing off against the Accolades Protection Agency, Farouk and Bradshaw, against Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, with Stacy Keibler and the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. This was a good tag team match, in my opinion. It had the first elimination was the APA. They were given the 3D. Farouk was given a 3D by Bubba Ray and Devon in about 4 minutes. And the next elimination was the Dudleys themselves by a senton bomb by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy pinned Devon, and it was then the Hardys against Billy and Chuck. Billy and Chuck cheat because Billy Gunn hits Matt Hardy with the tag team belts, and then it's the Billy and Chuck retain the WWE Tag Team Championship. The next match was Icon versus Icon. It was The Rock against Hollywood Hulk Hogan in a classic match. This was one of the 10 most greatest matches in WrestleMania history. The fans were solidly behind Hogan, even though he was a heel, and the fans were shocked because The Rock gave Hogan the rock bottom, but Hulk kicked out and hulked up. Hogan delivered a leg drop to The Rock, but The Rock kicked out. On the ending of the match, had The Rock give 2 rock bottoms to Hogan, pinning him 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, Hogan and Rock shook hands. They got Scott Hall and Kevin Nash mad, and they attacked Hogan, and The Rock saved him, and Hogan turned face. The next match was for the WWE Women's title under a triple threat match. It was Jazz, the reigning WWE Women's Champion, facing off against Lita and Trish Stratus, a native Torontonian and also Greek Canadian satisfaction guaranteed. This women's championship match was decent and stuff. Ending of the match had Jazz give Lita the fisherman suplex for the 1, 2, 3 to retain the women's titles. Very surprised Trish did not win the women's title in her hometown of Toronto, Canada. And the main event was for the WWE Unified Championship. It was Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, facing against Y2J, Chris Jericho, the reigning WWE Unified Champion, who had in his corner Stephanie McMahon. This was a back and forth match and stuff. Triple H tried to give Stephanie the pedigree, but Chris Jericho blocked him. Stephanie hits the referee. And Chris Jericho tries for the Triple H's finishing maneuver, the pedigree, but he's blocked. And then Triple H delivers pedigree to Chris Jericho for the 1, 2, 3 to become the new WWE Unified Champion. Originally, there was plans that Bret the Hitman Hart was going to be the special guest referee for this match, but those rumors were untrue because this was still at the time that Bret Hart was on the outs of the WWE. I don't know how this rumor started, but there was rumors that he was trying to talk back with Vince McMahon, but those rumors didn't come through. And I'm very surprised that Chris Jericho did not go over in this match to beat Triple H to retain the WWE Unified Championship, because it was in Canada, and it would have been respectful if all the Canadian wrestlers would go over at WrestleMania, but, that didn't happen. Plus, Chris Jericho was a heel at this time, and I think the WWE did not want to have a heel end WrestleMania as a winner for the third year in a row, because that wouldn't work and stuff like that. And Triple H becomes champion. He only would hold it for a month before he lost it to Hulk Hogan at the next WWE pay-per-view in April of 2002. This WrestleMania 18 was pretty great, in my opinion. It was a 7 out of 10 stars. It had its moments. The Triple H Jericho main event match was awesome, and then it was Rock against Hollywood Hulk Hogan was very great, and the Undertaker's Ric Flair match was awesome, and the rest of the card was decent. There was a few matches that weren't great and stuff, especially Stone Cold versus Scott Hall, and Edge versus Booker T. The hardcore stuff was just comedy and stuff, and the title was becoming a joke. It was better in 2000 with Chris Harley as champion, and by 2002 it just was a run-of-the-mill thing just to get people on television and on the pay-per-view. And that's about it on WrestleMania 18. Tomorrow I'll end my WrestleMania reviews with a double header of WrestleMania's WrestleMania 19 from Seattle, Washington. The main event is Brock Lesnar against Kurt Angle, and WrestleMania 20, which is the triple threat match. It's Triple H against HBK, Shawn Michaels, and the crippler Chris Benoit for the World Heavyweight Championship. He did exist, my friends. Chris Benoit did exist. And later on today, the other video blogs will be about the Jeopardy, the NBC syndicated years of Jeopardy, which was from 1964 through 1979, hosted by Art Fleming. 51 years ago today, Jeopardy made its debut on television on NBC, and the third and final video blog of the night is about Allen Iverson. And I'm open for Skype chats, and if you could follow me at chewy7.com on Twitter, and any suggestions, any shout-outs, private message me, and it'll be shouted out. Have a good day. Bye now.